What is up, everyone? Welcome back to our lawn, and today is March 22nd, which means we are one day past what would be the 2-year anniversary of the first video I uploaded to my channel. And I went back and I watched that video, and it was a tour of the property at that time. And I think it'd be kind of interesting right now to utilize following that same path and kind of talking about the plans for 2021 and kind of doing that through the lens of what we've been able to accomplish so far. So as we walk around, some of the biggest changes happened behind me here. So this, when we moved in, was all completely overgrown. This bed underneath this tree was not like nothing. It was just overgrown. There was no wood chips in there. We did that in 2020. This project here with the pool, this was all an overgrown area as well. We took everything in there, got that all cleared out, and put the pad for the pool in there. Back behind it, the tarp is what's left of the sand that I have for the putting green. And then over here, this fence has either fallen down or I've taken it down. So it used to come out to about where the pool stops or so. There's a post, and then it would go all the way around that way. Taking that down, and then we can kind of take a little walk back through the back, and I'll flip you around and we can talk about that. So actually then in through here, this all used to be overgrown. This, where the mud is, you can see used to be overgrown. And then back through here is some of the biggest changes. And this is going to be kind of maybe throw off to some degree some of the plans I had originally talked about for 2021, merely because I am going to be tasked with keeping this area, which was cut down here over the winter, from growing back up and taking back over. So this is going to take a lot of resources, and we can come back in here and look. I mean, there's a ton of like stumps, and there's going to be all the roots from all of these buckthorn trees that have grown up, stumps all over the place. This stuff is all going to take a ton of work and a ton of effort to get to where it can become along the perimeter. We're going to do like a landscape bed with stone from the stone that we're mining up from this quarry, and there's the pile that I have currently to move. And then yeah, carrying that all along this section back here. So what the plan is back here, and spoilers don't look. So back through here, there's that same kind of bent grass that we've been working on in the putting green is actually all that's growing back through here. And now this will get some sun. Now we've cleared up the canopy from all of this. And so what I'm going to do is use the Jacobsen and cut this at about a 1/2 inch and let it be chipping area fairway to hit up to the spoilers over here. Also, this here is all that's left of what was a landscape bed that went out to about right there. We cut all of that out and seeded that in the end of, I believe, 2019. And you can just see here the yard is kind of waking up. We're going to take care of the backyard the same way that we always have. The garden, if you've gone and watched any of the live streams that I've done, we're going to try to be a little bit more serious about gardening this year and do everything that we can. Ideally, I'd redo this fence and actually get this enclosed. But if I'm honest, I don't think that's going to make it high enough up the list to be completed. Also this year, we've been talking with our neighbor over here on what we're going to do. So we're going to get this landscape bed filled in and taken care of, likely round this out kind of to tie into the other landscape beds that have been completed. And I want to get rid of this little outcropping here because it's tricky to mow and it really doesn't serve any purpose. Phase 3 seeding project. We are not going to put any more seed on here. You would have seen my video from, you can check out where I talked about the fact that if you've planted Kentucky bluegrass, just relax. Don't come in and seed anything. This will all thicken up, no problem. We don't have to worry about it. Then down the hill, phase 4, the 4th and final phase, will be seeded, killed off this spring and seeded, so that the entire front yard will now be this Kentucky bluegrass mix that we've been putting in and doing over the last 2 years. Weed stripes. I think in my planned video I talked about doing things over here, bringing dirt in, which that I still might have to do just so I can mow it without scalping. But I think weed stripes may fall a little bit to the wayside here, at least early in the year, just because of how many other projects that need to be done. In a perfect world, we'd like to get a couple plants in under these trees and in the corner over there. But if I'm honest, I just don't know if that's going to be able to be completed. And you can see also here, since this is a low cost, low effort section, I haven't raked any of the snow mold out. So it's still there, and I'm not really all that worried about it. Friendly reminder, you can seed in the spring and then leave it alone. It will survive the summer, although it did thin out some, but this will survive the summer despite being seeded around May, and it'll come back just fine this year. Recent development as of yesterday, this fence fell over. So now you have the view from the driveway, which you never had, all the way out back of the yard, to kind of give you a sense of the size that we're working with here. And then we come back here for the last kind of what's going to be the main event on the channel this year is my putting green project. So I have picked up a hole cutter, cup, flag stick, as you can see, the Jacobsen that I bought last year. We've got 2 mows on this already, and my son and I actually yesterday spent a lot of time out here chipping and putting, and it's been awesome to actually have a hole to putt to. It brings me a lot of joy. Also got a leveling rake and a height of cut gauge, just so I can be a little bit more precise in my measurements for cutting the putting green. Right now the mower's set at 1/4 inch. And we'll take that down to about 5/32 seconds or 0.156 here when the time comes and it gets woken up. But the plan is that we're gonna take, once it really starts to get warm and starts growing, I'm gonna aerate, throw the rest of the sand on it to get the sand down into the aerate holes. At that time, we'll do a top dress and seed it again with probably just whatever the cheap, either the cheap Amazon seed or like Pencross or something that I can get fairly cheaply and in small quantities, and just manage it throughout the year. So you can follow along with the channel for that. What we're gonna try to figure out how to do with all the overgrowth back over yonder, the seeding projects in the front, and maybe mining some rock out of there and try to get the future destination for the practice facility, which is the old parking lot that the homeowner had over there. So video coming soon on all the equipment that I've purchased and how to go about trying to manage a putting green in your backyard. We'll also have soil test videos here happening pretty soon. And then yeah, it's just gonna kick off the season and we're gonna get going. We got some warm temperatures here, some rain coming in the forecast. So hopefully we'll get a pretty early start to the season this year. So thank you so much for watching. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment with any questions or maybe some things you'd like to see that I haven't talked about. And we'll see you next time.